Does it tell y'all that too? Like, do y'all hear
Hmm.
that? That must be like
Yeah, it asks if I want to continue.
that must be like a new Zoom feature.
Yeah.
Becca, are you reading The Gifts of Imperfection?
Sorry. I have it, and I was gonna start reading it today, but I'm finishing 100 Days to Brave. I have like 2 more days.
Gotcha.
So I did that this morning, and then I'm gonna finish it. Or and then I'm gonna start on the other one.
Okay, yeah. One of the things that I liked that they talked about, or I mean, it was really just a couple of sentences, but basically her saying like, in order to have courage, you have to, and she used the word like encouraging, like you have to have courage, like you have to do the things, you have to take the actions of having courage to have it. Or she said something like, in order to feel connected, you as a human have to reach out and connect with others. Which that just like little piece of like, in order to feel connected, you have to do your part. I feel like it's so huge because in this kind of business, I'm so sorry if it's echoing in here. In this business, I feel like we get to choose how much in we're going to be, right? We can crawl, walk, jog, run, whatever in this business. But, and same with being connected. Like, I feel like one of the reasons that I've felt so a part of Beachbody is because like I chose that route, right? Like I chose to show up to live events. I chose to show up on team calls. I had to like make that choice to do those things. And so, you know, if you're feeling, and I'm like speaking to hopefully people who watch the recording, but like if you feel like you're not connected or you feel like you're not a part, then you have to ask yourself and kind of like, you know, have that gut check of like, what are you doing to be connected into this community? What are you doing to feel a part? Like, how are you kind of putting yourself out there? Which I know as like an introvert and maybe somebody who's like brand new to this, that's a really hard step to take. But I feel like so much joy and belonging and excitement comes out of that when you make that connection, when you take that leap of faith. And I feel like that's just like it is in the beginning of coaching. And I feel like even last week, like when we were speaking, and I spoke a lot on the One Thing book by Gary Keller, which is amazing. One of the things that we talked about is being able to get back on track. And I feel like a lot of us have kind of been in a funk lately, but literally today I was like, I'm so excited. Today is June 1st. It's a team call night. And the nice thing is, is that if you allow yourself to be around this group of people and feel a part, you will. Right? Like that's totally up to you. If you challenge yourself to show up to these team calls, to get excited, to be a part of live events, to go to Summit, to go and hustle hard to go to Diamond Retreat, then you are going to feel connected. One of the things that I wrote down is nothing slows your progress down like a negative mindset. And I feel like when you're not embracing the community aspect of this team, of this job, then I feel like those negative thoughts start to creep in, which I feel like why we talked about last week, personal development is so important. But I feel like when you surround yourself and you like make the choice to surround yourself with women who are going to challenge you, then you will. And you will see that difference and you will feel more apart and you will be challenged and excited to kind of step out of your comfort zone a little bit more. But I wrote this quote down. It said, you can't soar like an eagle when you're surrounded by turkeys. And I was like, that's hilarious, but it's so stinking true. Bridget the other day was talking on her Instagram about like how you surround yourself with people. Like if you're constantly surrounding yourself with people who are like excited to help you level up and checking in on you. And no, it's okay. You know, when you show up, Bridget, I don't know if you're on, I was just talking about you. But when you decide to to surround yourself, like Bridget said, with people who are going to help you level up, who are going to get you excited, who are going to check in on you, who are also trying to live their best life. That kind of stuff rubs off on you. And so if you have negative coworkers, or maybe a significant other who doesn't understand this job, you have to be committed regardless of your surroundings, right? So you have to, I wrote this down, you have to decide things will change. Your mind is so powerful, but it's kind of like what you decide to do with this community that really, really matters. So Summit is, the last day to sign up is June 6th. So you have to sign up, pay the PayPal. I've posted it in here quite a few times into our team page. Click the link, pay your $50, like $50, guys. That's not a lot of money. That's so simple. We have a house that we've already set. It's like room for like 20 people. So there's plenty of room if you haven't signed up already. So whatever rank you are on Thursday is the rank that you will be at Summit. So just kind of know that. So if you want to show up as an Emerald coach at Summit, or you want to show up as a Diamond coach at Summit, you have to have that locked in by this Thursday. The second thing I wanted to tell you, and I'm kind of backtracking now that we have people on, Diamond Retreat lock-in is August 5th. So if you are deciding, I'm going to Diamond Retreat this year, like it's non-negotiable, I'm excited, I'm ready, I'm not missing it. It's literally, Summit and Diamond Retreat are like my two favorite events, because one, you feel so connected. Two, you get to level up and be a part of a community of people who are ready to run, and it's exciting. So you have to have that locked in, Diamond Retreat, by August 5th. Guys, that's 2 months away. Today's June 1st. You have 2 whole months to get your diamond locked into place. So if that's something that you're deciding, I'm doing this, then I want you to reach out to either your PS coach or your working coach or whatever, and let them know I am pushing for this. Because part of the thing is that you set the pace for your business. You set the pace to walk, crawl, run, jog, sprint, whatever that might be. You set that pace. But I also want you to also realize that whatever pace you set is totally fine, because I was telling, I think, like Stephanie and Brittany and a couple other girls, we all go through our seasons, right? Like we all have these struggles and hard times and frustrations and family and just things that go on. But you have to be okay with the repercussion of whatever route you're taking with your business. So you have to be okay if you are working as a hobby coach to get hobby pay. You have to be okay with crawling and getting a crawling kind of income. And I always want to put that out there, because it is so true. When you decide, and Deidre kind of made a live maybe it was on Monday, about her 7-year anniversary and being here in a year, you have to kind of decide, okay, I'm going to show up. I'm going to commit. I'm going to decide. I'm just going to see what happens. I'm going to put in the work and do the things and hit Success Club and invite people in and be proof of the product, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But you have to decide that and then take action steps to do the things that it takes to be a business builder, to move your business forward. But that's totally on you, right? Like I can have an entire team and everybody's at different speeds. And sometimes you go through seasons of life where you're like full speed ahead, and then you hit this amazing goal, and then you kind of maybe take it back a little bit, and then you're in this season of growth, but also maintenance, right? And so, or maybe you're going through a really hard personal time. I know Brittany has been struggling with sickness and not feeling her best, and also keeping the secret of her pregnancy. So it's like we all understand that there are seasons of life that are just harder than others. and that's okay. But you have to also understand that in order to continue your business of growth, you have to keep showing up. You have to be consistent. You have to say, tell your friend or tell us as a team, I'm having a hard time, but I want to still show up. Or today was a really sucky day, but I am telling you now that I'm waking up tomorrow at 6 a.m. to do my workout. And that's just that accountability piece of having this community. And that goes back to, you're not going to feel connected unless you choose to feel connected. So that's the first thing that I had on my kind of like chat with you guys. But the best, when I talk about like, if I am talking about basics of this business, I always say the best advice that I always got was being a student. Be a student of your business. That means you take ownership and excitement to learn the insides of this business. When I first started, volume was something that I really, really wanted to understand, but it took quite a few times for me to learn it before I really and truly understood it. And it took me listening to some team calls, looking up trainings, literally YouTubing certain aspects of this business that I didn't quite get, but that I knew in order for me to learn, I had to put in the work. So another thing that I wanted to say is that your why might change. Your why might change, but your mindset should constantly be growing. So your why might change, but your mindset should constantly be growing. When I first started, my why was because I literally had zero energy. Like when I first signed up, my first week of signing up, I just really wanted to lose the urge of not having to take a nap every single day. That was literally my why. And I also wanted to be able to not be late on our electric bill. Like those are my two biggest things. Now that looks a lot different. But back 6 years ago, and even to this day, one of the biggest things that has changed and has constantly been growing is my mindset. And so if I have any advice for you, which is crazy, and I talked about this last week, everybody talks about how personal development is like the number one thing, right? It's like the number one vital. And until you truly dive in and say, like, I'm doing this and this is why I started this year getting paper copies, because I was listening to a lot of stuff on Audible and I love podcasts. But what I was realizing is that I really wasn't doing the activities that the book said, or soaking up and highlighting and really like ingesting and digesting what the books were really saying. And for me to be able to go back to or say like, man, I really needed to hear that today. I feel like sometimes when you're driving and you're listening, it's like you're listening and you get these good pieces, but you're not really like letting it settle. And so this year I decided that I was going to, for my personal development books, and it's crazy because I love listening to different podcasts, like totally love it. And I listen to a lot of books still, but I make sure at minimum 10 minutes in the morning, I give myself that time to dive into an actual book, because I found that I was, I guess, taking more action. And which is crazy because I would like have never been a book person. Like I was not the person in high school. Spark Notes was my jam. And so like, this is like a new thing for me, but I'm very thankful. And I don't want it to take you guys 6 years either to like be able to appreciate that part. So let's talk about the 4 vitals, because I feel like love Spark Notes so bad. It didn't get me too far in Miss Yanta's class, which was my English teacher, but so 4 vitals. I want to talk about them because I feel like we actually haven't talked about them in a long time, and they're so important because it really is the basic foundation of our business. So be a product of the product. What does that mean? You have to show that the products and our workouts and our nutrition works. That is your job. You are the billboard for your job. And that doesn't mean like hey, look at my shake. Hey, look at my Energize. Here is the thing, like all the time. And that's all that you talk about. I love seeing your face, Bridget. Um, but it's good to be able to pick and choose a product to talk about. Like today, I was driving to pick up Haven from school and I was eating a beach bar. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to speak on this specific product today because I literally eat it every day. If I never share it, nobody will ever ask me a question about it. If I never say like, hey, send me your email, here, I'll give you the link for this, nobody will ever ask for it. If I don't post about that kind of stuff, then it's not being put out there. Maybe people don't know. Maybe my audience doesn't even know that we have bars. So it's my job to be a proof of the product and the fact that it's 10 grams of protein, only 150 calories. And then it went along with my nutrition plan because I was curious out of like my own thought. I was like, I wonder like how this fits into what Alana is saying. And then when I was reading about the FFCs, I was like, oh, this fits in because of the fiber to carb ratio. So it's perfect. So another thing that I wanted to say about being proof of the product is that you don't have to love every single product that comes out. I do not like Bevy Focused Energy. I don't like it. It's not my favorite. It's not something that I'll probably order a lot, but there are other products that we have that I love. So I can speak on those, but I can also say like, hey, we have this. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean somebody else won't. Same with another program. Like I tried Let's Get Up and it's not for me, although I literally burned over 300 calories and I was sweating like a champ. But it's just not what my mind needed at the time. It's totally fine. But I did expose I exposed it to my audience. So like, hey, this is what we have. I could also record or take a clip or have, like, I know Bridget's doing it and Leanne just did it. So I could take what they're doing and say like, oh my gosh, my friend's like totally rocking our dance program right now. Just because I'm not doing it doesn't mean that I can't expose my audience to it. So part of being proof of the product is allowing your audience to be able to see all that we have, even if it's not your favorite or that you totally love it. So I always give my experience and I use the products like, and I don't just use them because I work for Beachbody. I use them because I freaking love them and I know the quality of them. And so I always speak on that too. Like Clayton's gone to whatever the nutrition place is and he's bought products for his entire life. And then once we got together and he started using Beachbody products, he always said like, I'm very thankful for the quality of these products and the authenticity of the ingredients and how if they're ever changing formulas, they're always changing it to make it better, not to try to like slip something under the rug. And a lot of companies get hit for that. So I'm grateful that we have products that are so high quality. The next thing that I want to talk about is personal development. It is your job to grow your mindset because this is not a business for the weak. And I say that with all love because it's not. It's not a business where you get to just show up and people just come to you left and right and like you make tons of money. And no, it's not like that, guys. It really isn't. Yes, if you work hard, you get to reap the amazing, amazing benefits of not only income, but also your health, also your mental clarity, your strength that comes from the inside, like all those things you get to add to your life. But you have to constantly be feeding your mind with goodness. Because if you're not, you'll psych yourself out. You will come up with a bajillion reasons why this business will not work for you. You will make it to where you have already decided. And I think we talked about this last week too, that you've already decided before you even get started, before you take a leap of faith, before you go out of your comfort zone, why this won't work, right? And so it's like, you have to be pouring in every single day, like not sometimes, not when you feel like it, not when you have a second. It's like, no, it has to be a part of your routine. Because if I have learned anything from this journey is that I did not make personal development a non-negotiable. And it's like, you always hear that, and you always hear top leaders say that, and you always hear people talking about it at Summit. But until you decide that it's something that's a non-negotiable, just like a team call, just like growing your business, your mindset should also be a non-negotiable as well. So learning and bettering you, which is what personal development is. Let me see. Okay, the next one is inviting. Oh, right. Like everybody just hates inviting because it's so scary. No, it doesn't have to be scary, guys. I know Bridget's laughing over there. It doesn't have to be. You literally can just be inviting, as simple as, I have a group starting in June. I don't know what your health and fitness routine is right now, but if it's something that you're curious about or have been wanting to ask me about, I would love to be able to help you. Right? ... Or, hey, I know back in October, it wasn't a good time for you. I just wanted to check back in to make sure, just to see if June was a better month for you. Question mark, right? Or maybe somebody is ghosting you. Maybe they're like super excited, like, oh my gosh, I want to do this. I've been looking for this my entire life. And you like give them all this information, and they're like, and nothing, right? And so then you're like, wait, what the heck? What did I do? What did I do wrong? What did I say too much? Did I say too little? Did I not give them enough information? Right? And your like head's like spinning. No, guys, it is your, I know I'm speaking to you, Rebecca, because we were just talking about this. It is your job to present information, to present your experiences, but it is not your job to decide for somebody. So you have to, like, I feel like that's where you have to put on like the armor of a business and like the armor of an entrepreneur, and just like knock off all the bad mindset things when people ghost you or tell you no, because it's going to happen. It literally happens to everybody. Deidre just said like 2 weeks ago on a call, she said, I got somebody signed up. They were so excited. We were talking like business plans, and 2 weeks in, she quit. Okay, she's a 15-star diamond coach, and she goes through the exact same thing. People always said at the very beginning of my business, it's always like a 10-to-1 rule. So you have to have 10 people say no or ghost you before you're going to have one person say yes and join you. That tells you how much you should be inviting. And if you're not, then step up your game. Like I feel like for so long, like I didn't want to step on people's toes or say like, oh, it's okay, you could just invite 2 people and hopefully they'll say no, it doesn't work like that. Like you have to connect, right? And in the book of Gifts of Imperfection, it said, in order to feel connected, you have to do the connecting. You have to do the reaching out. So in order to have people join your team, you have to get people to do that. Not one single one of my Success Club points from May came from somebody reaching out to me. Not one single one. And I had, I think, like 11. And every single person I had to reach out to, whether it was somebody brand new, whether it was somebody who has said no before, whether it's somebody who I've sent a cart to 14 times, like there's always something, right? But you have to do the inviting. And this is the secret sauce that people don't talk about, right? This is the behind the scenes dirty work that gets you to where you want to be. This sets you apart from being stuck to being a leader and to being moving your business forward. And I say that with love and with all honesty, because I was the person last year who I hoped people would sign up with me, but I was not actually doing any of the work to get people to sign up with me. And it was like, I was like, oh, I don't know why. Like, I don't know why my business isn't growing. I don't know why I feel so. And I'm like, no, I do know why. I just don't want to like ingest it and realize it and like have my gut check, you know? So that's where the magic happens. And I will say that I have not been doing good with my business activity tracker. I have had it on the shelf for probably a solid 2 weeks. And I told myself June 1st, it's coming back out. And I'm going to, because when I had SC22, I didn't have SC55. Like I don't want that because that's overwhelming for me personally. For some people, that's like amazing. That's their jam. I personally don't feel like I could handle that. If you think you can, go for it. But for me, like a nice, solid SC15, SC20 is like where I consistently want to be. And so it's like, I can't go into my goal saying like, I want to help 2 people. No, don't set your goal so low that you're not even pushing yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone. Help. So if you say 3, then help 4. If you say 3, then help 5. Like make your non-negotiable just a little bit above what you feel like you can do. And I say that because then SC5 is simple. SC5 comes easily. And then you're like pushing for the SC10, right? But if you constantly set yourself low, then you're constantly going to be, I feel like, disappointing yourself. And I say that because that's exactly what I did last year. Like, I hope I do it, but no, you have to decide that you're going to do it. And then recognition. Recognition is literally one of my favorite things because it's something that I didn't ever get in my job as a teacher. You could literally have 100% passing star, commended, like high level, and you get like maybe a shout out at a faculty meeting, maybe. So the fact that like we get to recognize people every step of the way and people building their businesses and changing lives and helping others, like, oh, yay, exciting. Yeah, like that kind of stuff is so fun because it just, I don't know, like for me, that it's just like that little bit of love goes such a long way. And honestly, that little bit of love, like that shout out, that rank advancement, that recognition, it's like almost like a fire in my belly. Like, I want to keep doing this. I want to keep going. I want to keep showing up. I want to have other people feel like I do right now. And I feel like that's the contagious part of this business is like when you get to help other people feel the way you did when you got rank advanced or feel the way you did when you grew your business or when you got to pay extra on a car or you got to quit your job or you got to not be late on your electric bill or you had enough in your bank account to put some in savings. Like when you have those feelings of excitement and then you get to help somebody else feel that way and they tell you about it, that is like the most magical thing, I feel like, which is why I feel like recognition is so fun and so important because it allows you to like, I don't know, for me, it like makes me feel good in my heart for other people. And it makes me excited that they get to feel how I felt. And so if celebrate every success, if you're the new coach that is like, but I don't have a team. What do I shout out? Shout out a challenger. Shout out your celebration could literally be screen recording our June 1st group. Like look at all of these Bad A women from all aspects of life showing up and rocking June 1st. Like this is what you're missing out on. That could be your celebration. If you don't have a team, if you don't have somebody rank advancing, you can still find ways to celebrate other women. Maybe you only have challengers right now. Maybe you should start doing a challenger of the week, right? Maybe you should say like, hey, I want to love on you tomorrow on a post. Is that okay? I feel like 99.9% of people are going to appreciate that you are thinking of them enough to give them love. So those are the 4 vitals. And I know that's like basic, but be a product of the product. You don't have to love everything, but we have enough products that I feel like you have room to enjoy something. So, and you should be talking about it. So if you want to talk about the things that you love, talk about them. I picked Beach Bars today. I always usually show like Energize and Shakeology, but I was like, you know what? we have way more than what I usually show. So I wanted to like put conscious effort into talking or showing other things that we have. Oh, and this is what I was going to say about being a part of the product. Finish a program, start to finish. Don't I know that we have things like maybe when you're in between programs, you're doing like a bod tour where you're like skipping around, and like I understand that, and that's totally okay. But I think it really speaks volumes to people when you can say like, I'm showing up on day 1, I'm showing up on day 30. Look what I just did. And you don't always have to show just your results. There is literally a transformation. When you go into Sister Empire, type in transformation. There's a transformation share where there's literally all different people, body sizes, like weight goals, all kinds of women, amazing women in our team page that have been courageous and brave enough to put those transformations out there for you to use. So those are for you. If they put them in that post, that is them saying, because I think it says like, these are okay to share. So use those on your stories, because maybe not everybody has like, I don't have a ton of weight to lose. So if I want to show a different body style or a different body type of people who have made progress and what that looks like, then I can use those transformations to share on my stories. So be a product to the product, invite, and keep it simple. You don't have to stress yourself out, but set yourself a goal. Always grow your mindset. If you're not reading Gifts of Imperfection, you should be reading something. And then take that moment to love and recognize your coaches, your challengers. And if you don't have any of that right now, and you still want people to see what they're missing out on and create that FOMO, then you should be screen recording your challenge group, taking a picture for our team call night, like adding all those things into your stories is so, so important. And also too, who are you speaking to? Are you wanting more challengers? Then you speak to that. But I feel like that's the easy thing to speak of. When's the last time that you talked about the coaching opportunity? When's the last time that you really like decided, okay, I'm going to speak on this. I'm going to speak to the person that I want to attract in terms of the coaching opportunity. So my goal is minimum twice a week to speak on coaching. Why? Because I want, and it probably should be like 3 times a week, but you can be talking about something and then add coaching into there. It doesn't always have to be like, hey, join me. It could be the pedicure that you got. It could be the mental clarity that you have. It can be the community that we get to be a part of. All of those things can be spun into what coaching has done for you. So I'm challenging you to do that. Okay. So you might have any questions, thoughts? I feel like my voice is about to go mute. Thank y'all for getting on, but I don't want to like overextend, but I just wanted to, hopefully, I feel like we haven't talked about that kind of stuff in a while. So I feel like sometimes the basics are like the things that we need to rehear, and because they're the foundation of our business. So, which is why I wanted to speak on that. But any thoughts?